Hi friends. Excuse me. I wanted to do more like scary story videos. That the plan was to do them once a week throughout October. However, time slipped by and I realized Halloween is next week, literally a week today. So I have another scary story video here today for us. Like I said, time slipped by. I've been sick. The kids have been sick. So, my coffee. So, forgot. Not that I forgot, but time slipped by and I forgot. But here we go. Let's get into today's video. Some more terrifying but true horror stories, supposedly. Supposedly. So this one says, in 1973, a man in Enfield, Illinois, told reporters that he saw a weird creature lurking in his yard. He stated it had 3 legs on it, a short body, 2 little short arms, 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. The police later found scratches on the door and footprints that looked like dogs but with 6 toes. If they do find it, the man told a newspaper, they will find more than one, and I don't think they're from this planet. I can tell you that. And supposedly to this day, there's been no explanation found on why he had a little weird creature in his yard. I don't know. Aliens. Do you believe in aliens? Let me know. Okay, this one is called the... Okay, I'm not going to say the name of it because I don't know if I can actually say that word on YouTube. Okay, so in Colombia, the Hotel del Salto has more stories as one of the most haunted places on earth than it does its actual tenants. Turned into a museum, the hotel was designed by architect Carlos Arturo Tapias back in 1923, overlooking the Damless Falls. And I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, because I definitely did. The views were said to be spectacular, but guests kept looking a little too close to the falls. Translated to Hotel of Leap, the Hotel del Salto is full of stories of people leaping to their death. According to local legend, the Indigenous tribe escaped from Spanish colonizers by leaping off the cliffs some centuries ago. So that's pretty cool. I don't know. Okay, so this one is called the Axe Murder House. The Axe Murder House in Wasilla, Iowa is a well-known tourist attraction for ghost hunters and horror lovers alike. The site is the site of a gruesome unsolved 1912 murder in which 6 children and 2 adults had their skulls completely crushed in by an axe by an unknown perpetrator. Was purchased in 1994, restored to its 1912 condition, and converted into a tourist destination. It costs $428 a night to stay at the old haunted home, where visitors always report strange paranormal experiences, such as visions of a man with an axe roaming the halls and the faint screams of children. In November 2014, the haunting took a darker turn. Robert Stephen Larson, 34, of Winelander, Wisconsin, was on a regular recreational paranormal visit with friends when true horror struck. His companions found him stabbed in the chest of an apparently self-inflicted wound, and they called 911. Larson was brought to a nearby hospital before being helicoptered to Creighton University Medical Center in Omaha. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office said Larson suffered a self-inflicted injury at 12:45 a.m., which is around the same time the 1912 axe murders began in the house. Larson recovered from his injuries but have never spoken publicly about what occurred till to that day. For Martha Lynn, the owner of the home, the incident is very upsetting. It's publicity, and it's not the exactly kind of publicity you want. I don't want people thinking that when they come to the Wasilla Axe Murder House, something is going to happen to make them do something like that. The house remains open for tourists and overnight stays today. Ooh, this one is called The Haunted Doll. It actually kind of finds... I'm going to read it, but I'm getting like Annabelle vibes already. Did you ever see the movie The Conjuring? I did Annabelle. Okay. When you think of old haunted dolls, it's likely the creepy Victorian-looking porcelain kind that springs to mind. Like I said, Annabelle. None of which you probably have laying around. Still, don't get too comfortable around any kids' toys. Though, a frozen Elsa doll that was gifted for Christmas in 2013 in Houston area made headlines earlier this year when it was seemingly became haunted. The doll recited phrases from the movie Frozen and sang "Let It Go" when a button was pressed on its neck. For 2 years, it did that in English, the mother said. In 2015, it started alternating between Spanish and English. There wasn't a button to change it. It was just random. The family has owned the doll for more than 6 years and never changed its batteries. The mother says the doll would randomly begin to speak and sing even when its switch was turned off. The family decided to throw the creepy doll out until December 2019. Weeks later, they found it inside a bench in their living room. The kids insisted they didn't put it there, and I believed them because they wouldn't have dug through the garbage. At that point, Elsa ceased to sing in English, the English rendition of Let It Go altogether, speaking only in Spanish. The family then double-bagged the bizarre bag and placed it at the bottom of the garbage can, which was taken out on garbage day. They went on a trip shortly after, and when they returned, Elsa had been back too. It was sitting in the backyard of their home. This time, the family mailed Elsa to a family friend in Minnesota who taped the haunted doll to the front of the bumper of his truck. It doesn't seem to have made its way back to Houston yet, per the Madonna's latest February Facebook update. That's a little weird, and I don't know how much I believe that. I don't know if I believe that it kept coming back, or if they just kind of made it up for publicity. I will say, we have this horse. It's like a rocking horse, and it sings. And it sings. And my sister-in-law got it for my oldest son when he was first born. He's now 12. But I will tell you, it hasn't sung in years. The batteries are dead. We haven't changed the batteries. Nobody's really played with it. It just kind of sits around the house. I do have a 3-year-old now, and he calls it the haunted horse because one day we came home from football, and it was literally in our living room singing. And the batteries have been dead. Nobody has changed the batteries. They have been dead, but it was singing. And so now it sits on our stairway, going up to our stairs because the baby, he's 3. He's afraid to have it in the living room. I just think every now and then the batteries kick to life and it starts to sing, but they call it the haunted horse. So I don't know, maybe if we try to get rid of it, it would come back. Who knows? Do you guys have any stories like that? Honestly, I just think the toys, I just think of not so much Chucky's real, but I definitely just think that every now and then the batteries just kick to life and it starts to sing. I don't know. Maybe it is haunted. Maybe they're right for calling it the haunted horse. Who knows? Okay, so the next one is called A Deadly Exorcism. So it says, in August 2016, in North London, 26-year-old Kennedy Ife began acting strange and aggressively following a pain in his throat. Excuse me. Following a pain in his throat. He reportedly bit his father, threatened to cut off his own private part, and complained of a python or snake inside him before his family restrained him to the bed with cable ties. The family then set about attempting to cure Kennedy through restraint and prayer over the next 3 days. His brother Colin Ife told police, "It's clear that the thing was in him. What we believe was a demon because it was not natural. It was clearly trying to kill him," he said. "We had to restrain him for himself. It was clear if we didn't restrain him, he could have tried to harm the people in our family." Kennedy Ife had been bound to his bed for 3 days without medical attention when his brother finally called emergency services, explaining that Kennedy Ife was complaining of dehydration. He appeared to be having breathing issues and was pronounced dead at 10:17. The Independent reported, while police were at the house, Colin Ife allegedly carried out an attempted resurrection by chanting and praying for Mr. Ife. All 7 of the Kennedy Ives family members were accused of manslaughter, false imprisonment, and causing or allowing the death of a vulnerable adult. A post-mortem examination revealed over 60 wounds, including a possible bite on Kennedy Ives' body. His father, Kenneth Ives, along with four of his brothers, sustained injuries as well. Kenneth Ives told jurors he ordered his sons to take shifts and use overwhelming force and denied that any association with the occult, or secret societies played a part in the death. After 4 days of jury deliberation, all 7 family members were cleared of the charges. It's a little weird. I don't know. Things like that I won't comment on. Whether you're religious or not religious. I grew up in the Catholic Church, although I don't practice anymore. There's still some things like I won't comment on. There's still some things like I believe, whether I go to church or not. That's one of the things I don't like to comment on. Okay, so this is called Dead Animals in the Walls. When the Bettis family decided to insulate their home in Auburn, Pennsylvania in 2015, they discovered that it had already been with scores of dead animal carcasses. The dead animals were wrapped in newspapers from 1930s and 40s and were among half-used spices and other items. After removing the items, they sent hundreds of artifacts and carcasses. Oh, I don't know what that was. What I'm reading from is starting to have a life of its own. Ooh, it's haunted. After removing the items, they sent hundreds of artifacts and carcasses to an expert in Kutztown. The expert attributed the rotting animals in their walls to powwow or Dutch magic, originating in the culture of the Pennsylvania Dutch to treat ailments and gain physical and spiritual protection. The Pennsylvania Dutch were a group of German-speaking settlers to Pennsylvania in the 16 and 1700s and are more often of Lutheran, Mennonite, or Amish families. The Washington Post notes on the magic. Many of the spells deal with the care of livestock, finding water, or the treatment of minor ailments, reflecting the conditions and concerns of the early settlers. But powwow also has within it a tradition of darker spells and even such things as conjuring demons. One notable ritual in their tradition is the hex to create loyalty in a dog. To attach a dog to a person and provide nothing else was used before the effect. To draw some of your blood and let the dog eat it along with his food, and he will stay with you forever. The mold found in the rotting carcasses in the Bezies' home has caused illnesses among the family members, and they say the odor hasn't gone away. I don't know how you couldn't smell that. Like if there was I don't know, I guess rotting carcasses from the 30s, I feel like you would smell that. I feel like even previous homeowners would smell that. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. This one I have heard about. I have told you guys I'm really big on watching Ghost Hunters, and they actually did a little thing. Oh, they did a series, not like a series, but they did a episode of the Cecil Hotel and this story. This one's actually really sad, and if you know it, just bear with me. If you don't, you're gonna learn something new. It's the death of Elisa Lamb. Elisa Lamb was last seen on January 31st, 2013 in the lobby of the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was vacationing through the West Coast, documenting her trip in her blog and checking in with her parents every day. On January 31st, those calls stopped. Lamb had vanished. Soon the police were involved and her parents arrived to help the search. They had nothing. That February, LAPD released elevator surveillance footage of Lam before her disappearance. The footage shows Lam behaving very strangely in the elevator, appearing to talk to invisible people, peering around the corner of the door, crouching in the corner, and opening and closing the door. But what exactly was going on in this video raises more questions than answers. Theories range from a psychotic episode to demonic possession to unknown assailants just out of the view. Around that time, hotel guests reported weird things happening with the Cecil Hotel water supply. As CNN reports, the shower was awful, said Sabrina Bogg, who spent 8 days there during the investigation. You would turn the tap on, and the water would come out black for the first few seconds, and then it would go back to normal. The tap water tasted horrible. It had very funny, sweet, disgusting taste. It was very strange taste. I can't even describe it. But for a week they never complained. We never really thought anything of it. We thought it was just the way it was there. On the morning of February 19th, a hotel employee climbed to the roof and used a ladder to investigate the hotel's water storage tanks. There, authorities found the decomposing naked body of Lamb, whose personal items were found nearby. After an autopsy, her death was labeled an accident. NBC reported at the time about the strange occurrences in the hotel's past. The tank has a metal latch that can be opened, but authorities said access to the roof is secure with an alarm and a lock. The single-room occupancy hotel has an unusual history. Night stalker Richard Ramirez, who was found guilty of 14 slayings in the 80s, lived on the 14th floor for several months in 1985. An international serial killer, John Uttenreger, is suspected of murdering 3 prostitutes during the time he lived there in 1991. He killed himself in jail in 1994. In 1962, a female occupant jumped out of the hotel's window, killing herself and a pedestrian on whom she landed. In February 2021, a Netflix doc called Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel explored Elisa's tragic case and the history of the cursed hotel. Actually, that hotel is really... if you watch the Ghost Adventures... the Ghost Adventures thing on it, it's really creepy. I've watched the true crime about Lisa, and it's really, really sad. They do say that if you watch American Horror Story, that hotel is based on that hotel. Definitely my video thing keeps flashing at me. So that is all I have for today, friends. Let me know. I'm going to try to do one more of these on Halloween next Tuesday. Let me know if you like them. Comment, like below. Let's help me grow this channel. I hope that helped you relax. You're not too scared. Have a great night, a great sleep if you're watching this during the day. Sometimes I like to watch ASMR during the day when I'm working. It just helps me relax when I'm having a stressful day. So however you watch it, whatever you're doing, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful sleep. I am here for you always. I love you. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to try, I can't make promises because life happens, y'all. So I'm going to try to do one more for Halloween, to post on Halloween.